Alabama needs this win. I don't think they're gonna win, but they really, really need this win. They need to get back to that promise that they had with Nick Saban. Like if they lose this game, the talks are going to be is getting rid of the Alabama head coach. Like the whole Nick Saban thing comes to the forefront. Yeah, I think then we're witnessing the downfall.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beardzone Sports Talk. My name is David. I got Carlos with me tonight, and we are going to be breaking down college football for this coming up week. We have some big games this week. We have Georgia, Alabama, Saturday night headline game. Definitely going to be a game to watch. Battle of the SEC Titans there. Then you also have a Big Ten matchup with the Oregon Ducks going on up against the Penn State Nittany Lions. It's going to be the whiteout game too, so definitely excited to watch that game. But we have a couple of other games that we want to cover. Of course, we're going to talk about the Florida State Seminoles. Miami Hurricanes are on the bye week as they prepare for their loss next week against the Seminoles. So, but we're going to get into all of it. Carlos, let's go ahead and dive into this Florida State game. Do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But Carlos, last year I heard you say it a lot last year with your Miami Hurricanes, and I'm not mistaken, it was against this specific team as well. It was a Friday night matchup, and you just said this has a feeling of a trap game. And Carlos, I'm not going to lie to you, your words kind of rang in my head as I looked at this schedule for my Seminoles here. It's two high-powered offenses that are going to be going up against each other. That is for sure. So I'm anticipating a high-scoring, match here. I'm hoping that my Seminoles can get the win. But Friday night's first time within the ACC matchup for the Seminoles might be the making of a trap game. I know you're hoping for that, but I'm hoping for it not to be that.
I'm hoping for a Seminole win. Only because I want them undefeated coming as we come up to Tallahassee, so I don't hear any excuses at all from those guys. But it is a trap game. There is nothing worse when you're a high-ranked team to play on Friday night. And your rivals the next week, this doesn't bode well for them. And Virginia's not a bad team. They're 2-1. They're nobody that you can't overlook them. So it's going to be interesting. And it's on the road for them. It's just checking off every box that this may not be the best for Florida State. But, the State's been playing well. Their quarterback, Castellanos, was a great pickup for them. He was with Boston College last year. Guy who moves around quite a bit. He does everything for them. So we'll see what Virginia does. Virginia's going to have to bring some pressure on this guy, too. That was his one thing at Boston College is if you corralled him enough, he would he just didn't seem to be able to get everybody involved. But he's playing on a better team, too, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But
he is playing on a better team, and he has like an army of running backs, I feel like. I mean, I'm looking at these running stats. All of their running backs are like mid 150s right now. Actually, their lead rusher is the wide receiver, Danzy, with 5 carries for 173 yards. So keep feeding him that play, whatever that play is, because that play works. But then, if you look at the rest of the running backs, they kind of cycle them in and out. But Castellanos, man, like you said, he protects the ball. He extends plays with his legs. Definitely going to be kind of I don't want to say a measuring stick, but it essentially is. I mean, this is the first ACC challenge of the year. You had the big win against Alabama earlier this year, which was a surprise to everyone. But now let's come into the ACC. Let's get business done. Let's not look too far ahead, boys. I know next week is going to be a big week, especially there. and,
Stop it.
and hey,
This
listen.
newly adopted team, and it's like the pep talk is coming from you. Get out of
Hey, I
here.
gotta get my guys ready. I gotta get my guys ready. But like you said, Carlos, on the flip side, man, this Virginia team, man, they are high powered. This offense is humming. I think that they are fourth or third as far as points per game. Their quarterback, Chandler Morris, definitely slings the ball around very well, protects the ball. He has 8 touchdowns to only 1 interception. They have a fantastic running back with Taylor there, averaging 6 yards a carry. So this is going to be a game where I feel like it's going to come down to who's going to make the least mistakes. And there's probably going to be a turnover that ultimately decides the game because I think it's going to be a back and forth affair.
Yeah. I don't think they faced the defense like they're going to see with Florida State. I mean, they had Stanford, NC State, and then of course their cupcake there in the middle with William and Mary. But I don't think they haven't seen it as a team as physical as probably Florida State is capable of being. So it'll be interesting to see how Virginia does it. But they got a lot of stuff. They're going to have that home crowd behind them. But anytime, Florida State's going to punch them in the face. They just how they take it. Oh, and what they do with it. So I'm with you on this one. I do see some scoring. If this is a 17-10 game, I'm going to be like, what the, I'd be so disappointed. But I hate Friday night games. Anytime I saw a Friday night game on Miami's schedule, they always get upset. It happens all the time. And whoever scheduled this and thought that was a good idea, it's a stupid idea for Florida State. But I think it's a good game. Florida State's had 2 very easy games the last 2 weeks, and it's a game they need to kind of get back in the groove before they get the Cat 5 comes up there next week.
Cat 5 coming into town next week. Let's have our eyes set on this week, though. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. I think we can get away with the W here, and then we can move on to show who runs the state of Florida. But let's go ahead and let's move on to the next game that I want to talk about. Carlos, you actually mentioned it. The Cavaliers hasn't necessarily faced a defense like Florida State Seminoles. Well, the Oregon Ducks with Dante Moore hasn't necessarily faced a front like the Penn State Lions here. He's looked sharp. He's looked really good early this season. But they are going to have a lot of pressure. It's the whiteout game. That atmosphere is going to be electric. And the front 4 of the Penn State Lions, man, they get after you. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen here and how Dante Moore is going to be able to handle that kind of pressure.
Yeah, I'm with you. And both teams haven't played anybody all year. Like you couldn't, if you look at Penn State's schedule, it doesn't. It's ridiculously easy. And, I mean, Oregon had a couple of, I guess, bigger name schools, but they're just terrible now. So, I mean, Oregon State's not good, Oklahoma State, and then I don't know what Penn State's scheduled. So, but Penn State's got the home field advantage. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. The Ducks, man, they're fast. They're playing. I think they're actually a little bit better than they were last year. It's going to be an interesting. You know what I have a problem with Penn State every year? Every year they're ranked as high as they are, and they never do anything with it. They lose the big games all the time. I think Franklin's their coach. Like it, I hate that they're ranked so high. I think it hurts them being ranked that high because they just don't have that chip on their shoulder because they're going to get beat by Ohio State. Oregon's going to end up beating them. Like they'll end up having 2 losses and we're somehow talking about them at the end of the year that they're this playoff contender to win it all. And I'm like, get out of here. It's Penn State. They haven't been. I don't.
Okay, so you see the Ducks getting this win.
I think the Ducks do. I think they go in and win it. I love their coach. That guy he's so smart. He doesn't play around. He gets after it. I think the Oregon goes in there and I think they take it from him. I think it's going to be a battle the first quarter. But I just think overall Oregon's speed and just they've been in these games and they're used to winning. And I'm not a real big Penn State fan, and I know I'm a Hurricane fan, and we got beat by them in that bowl game. But I'm pretty sure our quarterback took a dive on that one. Kozar throws 5 interceptions. That's ridiculous. Pretty sure he got Mafia or something got a hold of him. But yeah, it is a ridiculous game.
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, Dante Moore, I think it's going to be really good to be dependent on the play of Dante Moore. How is he going to be able to handle that pressure there in that atmosphere? Carlos, we know from college football, this is one of the more notorious games of the entire year. So Penn State's going to be ready. Now, I will say that the Oregon Ducks, man, they are averaging 54 points per game to the 44 points per game to Penn State. But like you said, they really haven't played anybody this year. So it should be a good matchup. I'm hoping for a high scoring affair here. I just don't see the Penn State Lions losing their whiteout game here. So me and you are a little bit at odds with that prediction.
Oh, interesting. Since you become a Florida State fan, we no longer agree.
I have to just pick opposite of you all the time now. That is just the rule. That is just the rule.
Yeah.
So, but Carlos, let's move on to the headline game. I mean, we have the LSU Ole Miss game, and that is definitely a good game that we're going to be looking at this week as well. But I really want to focus on this Alabama-Georgia game because Alabama 2-1, Georgia 3-0. Georgia a couple weeks ago. Now, Georgia had a bye last week, so they've had 2 weeks to look at this Alabama team. Alabama had that huge upset at the beginning from the Seminoles. And then Georgia, let's not forget, 2 weeks ago, man, they went into Tennessee, and they were not looking good at all at the beginning of that game. Tennessee rallied up in front, and then they were able to actually come, and by the grace of the football gods out there, man, they won that game due to, a couple of missed field goals there at the end. So, but Georgia, Alabama, it's always a good matchup. It's going to be in Georgia, so they're going to have the home field advantage. But what are you looking forward to mostly to this game?
I'm curious to see is Alabama for real? They get, like you say, they get the first loss out of the gate to FSU, where we didn't see that coming. And Alabama hasn't been the same since Nick Saban left. It's just not the same team. The discipline doesn't look there like it used to be. I don't know. It's the Nick Saban effect. It's just he's missing. So can Alabama get back? Like Alabama needs this win. I don't think they're gonna win, but they really, really need this win. They need to get back to that promise that they had with Nick Saban. Like if they lose this game, the talks are going to be is getting rid of the Alabama head coach. Like the whole Nick Saban thing comes to the forefront. Full head steam, and I think then we're witnessing the downfall because we saw that even last year. They got Milroe. They lose games that they shouldn't be losing. USF seems to want to upset everybody all the time. So they need it. Ty Simpson's going to need a good game. Their quarterback, that defense is going to have to step up. I mean, Georgia was freaking lights out. But Tennessee's not only known for a big defensive team. So, man, Bama needs this win, but I just don't know if they can get it.
I want to run a couple of things by you really quick, Carlos. So Georgia, its last 7 games is 1-6 against the spread, where Alabama has won 14 of its last 20 games straight up. Also, Georgia is 1-4 against the spread against Alabama in the last 5 meetings, and then also Alabama is 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games played in week 5. I don't know what it is, Carlos, and this is not the Seminole Miami thing going on, but I have a feeling that Alabama is going to come in and they're going to be able to beat the Bulldogs this week. Surprise. So I didn't like what I saw from Stockton there. The Georgia Bulldogs quarterback in Tennessee. And there's just something about it, man. I just feel as if this team is gonna lose. Plus, fact that Alabama is a team this week coming into this week that has a lot more to play for. I mean,
Yeah.
just to be honest with you, if they lose this game, it's going to be a really hard road to get into the college playoffs, even with the new 12-team bracket, especially when you're in a conference like the SEC.
Yeah.
And, that's only going to put more of a distance between you and the Georgia Bulldogs as they will continue on their undefeated streak. So, um, it's definitely going to be a game that I'm going to watch. I think all of us are going to watch. But Ty Simpson from Alabama, he takes care of the ball. He hasn't thrown any interceptions. He's been protected all year long. I know that they're going to be playing the Georgia Bulldogs. I know that front is going to be rough, but I think that their offensive line holds up to allow Ty Simpson to do what he does and distribute the ball around. I think it's going to be a pretty close scoring affair. But give me Alabama to upset the Georgia Bulldogs 27-20 this weekend.
Ooh. Well, that's surprising we're not agreeing here. They need it, though. I will say it. That Alabama program needs a big win, and this would be it. I'm, for me, I don't care. They could both tie for all I care. But, yeah, they need to win badly. If there's a program that needs a signature win, it's them right now.
Yeah. Well, let us know down there in the comment section what you guys think, who you guys are predicting. Shout out your teams. We would love to see where you guys are watching from. And be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that way you get all of the Beardzone episodes. We're out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Wednesdays are our college episodes. So if you're new here, welcome to the Beardzone. We're just two football fans talking about football, how football should be talked about amongst fans. So we appreciate everything that you guys do. Continue to follow us on our social medias. All of the links are down there in the description below. And until next Wednesday.